It's utterly ridiculous. MiniWarGamer Dave here from MiniWarGaming.com, and I'm the Hobby Hunter. And these are my top 10 picks for Mavericks paint. Today's episode is sponsored by My Mini Factory, but more on that later. At number 10, we have an Imperial Fist biker riding his way to glory. This was the very first paint job I saw from Mavericks paint. It's pretty obvious how it stuck out to me. It's not every day you see a fist flying through the air that's gore-soaked awesomeness. I liked it so much, I dove into his account and I discovered more. At number 9, we have a painted dreadnought. Now for this one, the paint job is obviously visually amazing. Like, I look at it and I'm instantly sold. However, the most impressive thing to me is that at the time, Maverick had only been painting miniatures for 4 months. And this is his first entry into a painting competition. During the process of preparing this mini, he shared his progress with the community on his account, and I think that's where he got a taste for the feedback you gave him. I mean, just look at this thing. Blood dripping from the back of the sword, got the glow from the massive plasma cannon on the right, additional glow from this tiny light, and I'm just noticing the log on the base. And look at that OSL on the tree. You could just feel Mav's enjoyment when he shared all the stuff with the community, which is why it doesn't surprise me at all that he asks in this post, what do you guys think? Should I make a tutorial on how I achieved this? Nah, Mav, don't do it. We're not interested at all. Don't be doing, yes, please give it to us right now, right away. For the number 8 spot, which is Korn's number, you know I wanted something gore-soaked. However, this one was so extreme that I must exercise a bit of social responsibility and say to you, viewer discretion advised. At number 8, we have Rip and Tear. We told you we wanted gore, and Korn demands skulls. Vlad Paints Minis said it best. This is gruesome, gratuitous, and disgusting. I love it. A true son of Dorn adds, you are bringing some fresh wind to this hobby, Maverick. Love all your ideas. To say this is gore-soaked awesomeness is redundant as much as it's unironic. The sheer shock value was enough to rack up more than 4 million views as a YouTube short. Simply unprecedented in our community. Mav, looks like you struck a chord here. You're creating things people wanted to see, but never saw before. Speaking of which, at number 7, we have this chrome-painted backpack. When I first saw this, my eye was confused. Actually, I take that back. My eye was deceived. When I saw it, it looked like it was made out of chrome. I kid you not. Look at this thing. That looks like chrome. I don't know about your eyes, but I see blue sky reflection with ground underneath, which Mav perfectly captured on the back of this backpack. And here's the crazy part. This technique's been done before, but it's the first time I had really taken note of it. So due to all the positive feedback regarding this, what does Mav do? Yeah, he makes a tutorial on how do you achieve this effect. And he does this in a single post, trying out different color schemes. If there's anything I learned about Mav, it's this. He's a scientist and he likes to experiment. Well, he's not really, nobody is. He is a dude that experiments with everything that he tries. That makes no sense. Exactly the kind of thing we want to see. Exploding our way to number 6 is an exploding marine, which apparently was a complete experimentation with Mav using one of Deadly Print Studios' special effects and applying it to the torso of this astartes. Mav says, the choice for the burst to be nothing but blood is ridiculous, but pretty funny too. As we can see, it's just Mav experimenting once again with something new. Here is a cool effect by Deadly Print Studio. I want to try it on a mini. How can I do that? Boom! Of course it's blood. Of course it's an explosion of a torso. Not the traditional explosion one would expect. It's a blood explosion from heart. His heart was broken. Whoever this dude is, something happened in his life, and now he'll never be the same. At number 5, Mav hasn't painted an ultramarine in a while. So what does he do? Explodes his head. I think we're seeing a pattern here. We're seeing what is typically common, and then we're seeing something that is just completely against the norm. I happen to hold this exact miniature in my hand. It was gifted to me by Maverick himself when I visited him on the other side of the country, and it was glorious. Mav, why are you giving this to me? This is too much. This is what? Why? I don't accept. And he's like, Dave, but there's nothing you can do about it. Well, what are you gonna do? But this is no words. No words. Boom. What? It's utterly ridiculous. For my number 4 pick, we got a little Stompy Stomp on top of a Green Marine. First time I saw this, I was instantly like, yes, another one of Mav's! But it was interesting reading his thoughts behind it. Here's what he says. Here's an old project that I never posted and that I frankly abandoned. I was never really happy with it, and it would always annoy me to even look at it. I didn't finish it because I knew that no amount of paint was going to fix it for me. My point is, sometimes we make stinkers, and that's just life. Instagram has a bad habit of showing off only our best of the best, and it can be misleading, especially to newer folk. I wouldn't call this image a failure, but it's definitely not what I wanted, and I was hesitant or even embarrassed to share it. I'm ranting. What I'm trying to say is that accidents are as much a part of this hobby as paint and brushes. I think that's a fantastic message, and thank you, Mav, for bringing that to not just all of our attention, but to the attention of those who may not be sharing some of their work otherwise because of that embarrassment or that feeling of it needs to be my best work. To me, that's just a practice of fearless painting. At number 3, we have plastic surgery. Regarding this restoration, Mav says, "This isn't my model. It belongs to Corey, a friend of mine. Serving as a captain at Corey's side, he asked if I could restore his beloved model. Hundreds of hours spent on felt tabletops at friends' basements and local hobby shops, a loyal companion leading his army through victory and defeat. We do our best to take care of our models, but we rarely acknowledge how often they take care of us. The joy these tiny plastic models brings us is ridiculous. Whether it's getting together with friends and relaxing, or painting in our offices, through good times and some of our worst, we can always turn to our models for sanctuary. I don't think it's weird to say we owe these little guys our appreciation every now and then. So with that said, please join me in honoring Calatus, the Blade Guard Captain." Mav goes on to do a number of these plastic surgery models, restoring what was once loved and used to a brand new looking, pristine version of its former self. A fantastic community-driven concept that has absolutely exploded and taken the community by storm. And double props to Dr. Rhino for coining the phrase plastic surgery, because it's very appropriate for what's happening right now. At the number 2 spot, we have this Marine that's been blown to bits. The simple caption that Mav adds, "What happened to this guy?" Well, you tell me, Mav. What did happen to this guy? See, I would argue he made his way here and he told a little story. Wow, that's pretty gruesome. But I like what I see, and this is pretty amazing. Like, what? My favorite's the rib cage you can see poking out of the chest of that power armor. Nice little added touch, adding some bones sticking out of the limbs in both places. Like, this is incredibly gruesome, and I'm getting very happy about it. I think that's just the world in which we live, which is a grimmer, darker universe than the actual Grimdark universe. It's a fact. Before I reveal my top pick for Mavericks Paint, honorable mentions. And in this case, I thought I'd make it a little more personal. And how's that? Well, Mav himself has taken inspiration from a number of creators in the community. One of which is Nemesis Forge X13, and specifically his Molten Melta effects on his minis. Imperial Fist Dead Knot is finished. I love what he calls it. Super cool effects on his account. I love perusing his as well. Stuff like this doesn't lose its cool factor, so props to you, Nemesis, and props to you, Mav, for shouting out Nemesis. Everyone just go and get your Nemesis. Next up, we have Guy from Midwinterminis. Now, why is Guy here, you should ask? Guy's everywhere, man. Guy doesn't need more attention, does he? Well, you know what? In this case, he does. And here's the reason why. When Mav was a brand new painter and he searched on YouTube for how to paint Space Marines, who came up? Guy came up. And so, you know what? If it wasn't for that, a whole different string of events would have happened. So thank you, Guy, for being the hobbyist that Mav could be inspired by to paint his first Marines, and look at all the Marines that have happened since. Boom, done. And for my number 1 pick for Mavericks Paint conversions and minis, it is Melta Victim number 3. And in Mav's words, it may not look like it, but whitescars is my favorite chapter. This converted Marine has become the iconic conversion that Mav is known for. He does many things on his account. He's capable of a plethora of techniques. But when I see this image of this hole in the chest of this Marine that's been melted, I think Mav's Melta. What an awesome visual display of eye candy. That's the only way I can describe this. The eye is drawn to it. Look at this. That looks molten hot. Like I would burn myself holding this in real life. This is way too hot to be handling right now. I shouldn't be doing this, but I am. Hilariously insane because it's ridiculously awesome. Like the various versions of the melted marines look incredible. No matter what miniature this effect is applied to, it just looks amazing. Photorealistic, and it automatically makes it a unique miniature. How many whitescars have we seen over the years? It's no big deal anymore. How many melted whitescars have we seen? And instantly it's, look at that. Just saying. Now, at the beginning of the video, I did say my mini factory and sponsorship. Now, I thought the best way of doing that is to actually talk about Canvas. What is Canvas? It's something on their website that looks interesting to me because there's a bunch of painted miniatures by members of the community, and I'm just looking at this and I'm thinking, what's going on here? What are you guys up to? Apparently, anyone can upload any painted pictures of their minis to Canvas on My Mini Factory. So it's a community-driven platform built within the My Mini Factory website where you just post your painted pictures of your miniatures? Are you kidding me? What's happening here? See, that's the cool thing. You're just posting your stuff. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter. Just post. Look forward to more of these. In fact, here's a question for you. Shall I do an episode completely dedicated to what I find on Canvas? I think that'll be an interesting experiment. You want to see that if you are on Canvas, then use your voice. Let me know.
Hey guys, I'm Mav from Mavericks Paint. You're probably used to just seeing my hands. I thought I would just say hi and thank you for all of the support, all of the kind words, welcoming me into this community. It's been incredible. It's been an incredible year, and it would be crazy of me not to say thanks.
Mavericks Paint, thank you so much, man, for everything that you do. I've included links to Mavericks Paint's Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon in the description. Follow him, see his stuff. I encourage everyone to jump over to see the eye candy there. He comes out with stuff all the time. He's got robust PDFs on his Patreon of all the different techniques that he has learned over the years. And it's a library of molten hot awesome. Leave comments below. Let Maverick know the exact paint jobs you like and that you would like to see more of. Also make your own suggestions for who I should focus on next in another episode. I'm MiniWarGamer Dave. Why am I messing up there? I'm MiniWarGamer Dave, and I'm the Hobby Hunter.